Alright, so this is little Teddy?
Yes, yeah. This is Ted.
Okay, so go ahead and tell me about Teddy and everything.
Teddy is 3 years old. We got him 3 years ago. He did training with Anything Is Possible at Canine Cruise, which is right by our house in Humboldt Park. He did the puppy training there, and then he did the Basic Plus training. And then we were doing daycare with them for a while. We used to do boarding with them. But we noticed he started getting a little unfriendly towards the other dogs. And he would either pick fights with them, or if a dog was bothering him when he wanted to rest, he would get aggressive. So we kind of stopped taking him there because it didn't really seem like he wanted to be there. And then with quarantining for the past year, I've been working from home, so it's just like we didn't really need the daycare. Yeah. But we have a couple trips coming up where we're gonna need to board him again, and we would just like him to be more social. He used to be really social, so we would just like for him to, be able to meet a stranger dog and not be aggressive. And then also just like when we're in public, he gets a little anxious. You can kind of tell by like his stance. He's just like a little like uneasy right now. He's like trying to pull back to the car. Yeah, so we're trying to kind of get him used to being back in public. I think after a year of quarantining and avoiding people, he's definitely picked up on signals of like not wanting to be in public.
It was never really great though.
No, and that's part of with the breed too. Shibas are always like a little bit more shy, and some of it's just part of who he is kind of already. But we want to make him feel more comfortable in public as well.
Yeah, so he's like totally fine around the house though.
Yes,
like really chill, really calm.
So perfect.
No
in
issues.
The house. Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, really well behaved and really good with us. He's just nervous around like if a stranger came over.
Yeah, or if another dog comes into our space, he becomes a little territorial over that.
Yeah, he doesn't like that.
And then we usually go on like one big walk a day through Humboldt Park, which the park is like a lot louder and there's just like a lot of stuff going on. And sometimes that walk goes totally fine and he has a great time, like especially in the winter when there's less people and stuff around. But then in the summer when it gets hot, it's just it's really
overwhelming for him.
His anxiety just gets triggered, and once he gets anxious, it's really hard to figure out a way to kind of get him
back. He's not super like food motivated.
Right.
So, and especially when he's anxious, he's not gonna, even if we like bacon or cheese, he's like not interested.
And he's just a little stubborn too. Like he just has a mind of his own sometimes.
Very Shiba, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I think ideally it's really about how he kind of like interacts with dogs. As a puppy, he was really friendly towards other dogs.
He used to be so social and
playful. And we really worked hard to kind of get him to be very stimulated and meeting a bunch of other dogs.
We were doing like play dates with other dogs.
Right.
Just because Shibas, I think, can be harder to socialize.
Yeah.
So
but
we
for
were
him,
really trying to do that early.
For him, it's all about the initial interaction. So like,
if a dog comes in too hot, or like,
he'll just snap. He's never like bit. He just gets in their face and and he gets a little
it's like him trying to correct them, but then we get nervous because you don't know how that dog's gonna react to him. And so at this point we don't let stranger dogs interact with him just because we don't want anything bad to happen.
Right.
Does he have any friends?
Yes, he has a couple friends that he plays with, and he loves them.
Those dogs, like, has he known them for a longer time?
Yeah, since he was a puppy,
Yeah.
When did he start showing the, like, I don't want to play anymore behavior?
Probably like a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years.
Yeah.
He, like I said, he used to be at Canine Cruise, and I don't know if something happened there. I mean, Canine Cruise, the boarding facility that we used to go to, they have a lot of dogs there, and I don't know if something happened that scared him or something, or if he just kind of got sick of the other dogs, but I didn't really feel like when that happened, they would formally like correct him or train him to stop doing that. So I would tell them, I'm like, just give him a timeout, put him in one of the kennels, let him have a break. He's probably just tired. And that seemed to help a little bit, but I feel like we need a more of a real solution.
Yeah.
And if he ever does snap at another dog, it's usually like over a bone or something like that. He's a spoiled only child. Like he doesn't.
So he's a resource guard?
Sometimes, yeah.
Like at our house, if we have a dog over, we hide all of his toys so that it just isn't an issue. Yeah. And obviously at the daycare they don't have toys.
They don't have toys, but like at Jay's place.
But like when we go to another dog's house that they have toys, he'll like pick one and then that becomes his, even though it's their toy.
Yeah. And he'll rummage through their toys. So as long as like the other dog's like a little bit more submissive and doesn't
like,
really care, like it usually isn't an issue. But if they ever do get into a fight, it's usually over someone taking that toy.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Okay. So.
And just being kind of territorial. Yeah.
Or just getting tired and then not wanting to play anymore. Like he's like an all or nothing dog. It's like when he comes to play with a dog, like it is just
super
like
energetic, playful.
Just keep going. But
he has kind of 2 different play styles. Like with this mini golden doodle that he's friends with, they just wrestle the whole time. They're just like constantly wrestling. And then with his parents' dog, she's a American Staffordshire mix.
Yeah, but she's like a mutt.
They just run laps. Like they chase each other. He'll kind of like nip her a little to get her to chase him, and they just run laps. So it's kind of funny. They're like very different play styles.
Yeah, they're different play styles. But the thing is like he's so docile at home. Like he'll sleep all day.
Yeah, he's like a cat.
Now that she's home too, like we're so nervous we were leaving him home too much, and
now that I'm home and I see him, I like poke him. I'm like, let's play. Like let's go on a walk. Let's do something. And he's like so chill. Yeah.
So it's
very good apartment dog.
I think when he does get into those playful situations, he doesn't know how to like check out, and I think he just wears himself out.
Oh, I see.
And then when he gets tired, he's just like, okay, I've had enough. And he gets a little disgruntled.
Maybe.
Yeah, or anything else.
I think that's it. I mean, you'll kind of see like, we call it swimming, but ultimately, like, when he does not want to be somewhere, he'll digs his feet into the ground and, like, pulls as hard as he can. And that's the behavior that we can't snap him out of. We've tried stopping and sitting, and we've tried a bunch of other stuff, and it's just like...
Just kind of, like, take a break, like, let's sit, let's, like, relax.
And then he does this when he's not, like, when he's bored. Like, he's just like, hello.
Like, hello.
What are we doing
What are we
here?
doing? Hi.
Yeah. So we call that overstimulation.
Yeah.
Overstimulated.
Totally.
It's really easy to fix. It's nothing out of the ordinary for dogs.
Yeah.
It's very common in dogs. Just like they don't know what to do. Like they're smelling, they hear a noise, what's that? And they go back to smelling, or they just stop, and they go back to what like smelling and like doing. They can't focus, right?
Yeah.
So it's just overstimulation. And then the incidents where he's had with dogs, they've all been like valid, like in dog world, right? He wants to rest, he's not getting rest, he's gonna let them know, I wanna rest.
Yeah.
With the daycares, I'm not familiar with, like, because Jesse knows how each daycare runs because he's done all this research, right? So what I've known is that, and what he's told us is that, like, there's a lot of daycares out there that just playtime all day, every day.
Yeah.
And like dogs are playing all day, and the dogs who are like wired the whole day go home wired all day.
Yeah, it's just too much. Yeah.
And they don't know how to stop. And then if there's a dog there that has boundaries and it's like, okay, I'm tired, and they want to rest, there's no spot or chance for them to rest, so they become very defensive. And then they're like, the moment they had, like, let's say he's like, all right, whatever, he's just avoided the situation, and at some point he's gonna give up and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna let you know. And then bam, he's realizing, oh, that worked.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna get more comfortable snapping into other dogs to let them know, instead of just being like dealing with it. He's gonna let them know because he's figured out a way to get them away.
Yeah.
One
other thing too is that, like, he was originally put into the small dog room, and I think...
Oh, at Canine Cruise, yeah. We kind of had to switch him back and forth. He was originally in the small dog room because he's a smaller Shiba. He's only 20 pounds. And then he started not getting along with, like, some
the
of
small dogs.
like the fluffier dogs. Like, I think they were, I don't know, it's like a certain behavior of a dog that he wasn't really liking that personality. So then I suggested they put him in the big dog room and just see how he was, because a lot of his friends are bigger than him.
Yeah.
And he did really well there. But I think it was just kind of like.
But I think that's how he got his, like, macho personality too. Is like he was like, I'm the biggest in the small dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be a few things.
Yeah. Well, that was something I'm just researching your facility, just seeing, like, and you can probably describe it way better, but the stations and kind of how you, like, work with the dogs. It doesn't seem like you're just, like, throwing them all in a room, 50 dogs where they're just, like, chaotic. It's like, it seems a little bit more intentional, which I liked.
Yeah. And we'll go by the size if you need it, but usually we go by, like, personality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So because a lot of the little dogs, that are not trained with us don't have like boundaries. Like they're very jumpy. And so if you put like a Shiba with them, they're more like, "Why are you jumping on me for?" Versus the bigger dogs, they won't really jump because they just don't jump. You know? It's a weird thing that I've noticed at the facility, but we go based on personality, not size.
Yeah.
And then also if we see a dog that's if we notice a dog's kind of like done playing, we just put him right to rest.
Yeah.
We don't like try to like, no, you're gonna play for the rest of your hour. You know.
Right.
Or, like you said, we can also correct it to let him know you can chill out because so the first 30 minutes we let him play. Then like in the middle of that, because it's an hour play, hour rest. In the middle of that play, we shut down the whole group. We make them all passive and then let them chill. And like then we let them like relax. And they're all like, we got like 7, 8 dogs in a play pen just relaxing because they play, but then we need to have control and like it's called presence. So like when we enter the play group and we start addressing every single dog, they know to just, okay, we need to relax.
Yeah.
And we let them relax for a little bit, and then they're all just hanging out, and then they start playing, but it's like a more calmer play because we shut them down, right? So it's very controlled. It's very because we need to have control. If we don't have control, then it's like
Exactly.
We can't let the dogs correct other dogs, even though it's natural and they can be valid. That's just unacceptable at a daycare and like other clients' dogs and everything like that. And then the meeting dogs on leash, we like to use an example like the humans. It's like, because you're going around, right? And then you want him to...
Well, just if another dog comes up, right now he'll growl. And it's kind of just like, just have good manners, good behavior. Like, you don't need to growl. You don't have to be best friends. Like, we don't have to play with them. But, like, we just don't want them to come off as so aggressive.
Yeah.
It'll happen where, like, some people will have their dogs off leash, and a dog will run over, and they're like, "Oh, it's okay, my dog's friendly," and I'm like, "Mine's not," and I'm trying to shield kind of in between, and they're like, "No, it's fine," and then as soon as Ted growls, I'm like, I don't know how that dog's gonna react to him growling.
Exactly.
So that's kind of what we're trying to like, and I know that's obviously on other people that aren't like controlling their dogs.
And I'm also, I'm pretty positive it's like partially like
His
it's our anxiety as well that he's picking up on, just because he has snapped in the past. We don't want him to be in a conflict. So if another dog's coming over, we're pulling him away. We're kind of giving him the clues.
Should be scared.
But we want to know that if that dog does come, like, it won't be a confrontation and he won't kind of do that kind of growling noise to kind of trigger the other dog. So it goes both ways, I think. But
it probably is a lot of
He's probably protecting
He's definitely
us.
picked up on us, and like, especially over quarantining, like avoiding people and other dogs, he's totally picked up on that.
Another thing. So with the off-leash dogs, it's kind of hard, you know, because we've had a lot of incidents, and you know, Jesse will use his, we just had a lot of incidents.
Totally.
So, but this one I like is Jesse had his little Chihuahua, and I think an off-leash dog was running around. I think it was like a bigger dog.
Yeah.
And like he came and like I don't know what he did to his Chihuahua. He did something, and like his Chihuahua yelped. You know, he was hurt.
Yeah.
He was like, okay. And then he came back again, and he knew the dog's gonna do it again. And then Jesse just stepped in and just kicked the dog, and like he's like, and like he ran away. And the owner was like, "Why are you kicking my dog for?" Just like your dog's like, you're like whatever some pound dog is like injuring my Chihuahua. He's yelping and everything. Like, I'm gonna kick your dog. And it's like a whole thing. Like we've had a lot of incidents here too.
Oh yeah.
In the training session.
This one's off leash.
And we'll have dogs wear a muzzle, and then the owner is like walking up the dog on leash, like, hey, and like, dude, like dog, like
obviously we're training.
Exactly. So these things are just.
I know.
It's hard to understand like the rules here and everything, because I see cop cars walking by and like they're not saying anything.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore, you know.
The city does have a leash law, but
it doesn't happen too often.
No.
It's just we just need to know that it will be
control.
Both parties will.
Kind of, we're just like better manners.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Just like be nice to strangers. Don't growl.
Obviously, if a stranger comes up to him and he's growling and they continue to put pressure on him to touch, that's on the stranger, you know.
Yeah.
He doesn't really growl at people.
No, not people. He's scared of stranger people.
He doesn't.
He will just back away.
He'll just back away, and we just go, sorry, he's shy. Like, to be honest, we don't really want people touching our dog.
Same thing with humans. We don't
Yeah.
want to, if you're walking, right, no one's going to go and touch you.
Yeah.
Exactly,
So it's the same
exactly.
thing for him.
He's totally like, I don't want to be touched
The only
by
time
you.
it's sad is when like a little girl comes over and she's like, "Oh, can I pet
your
your dog?"
puppy.
And you're just
And
like,
you're just like,
"No, sorry."
I don't trust that he won't, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good that the kids will sometimes ask too.
Yeah.
Some manners. Some
Yes,
kids,
they'll just
run.
come. Yeah, like a toddler, we have to be very careful. Like, oh, just wave hi, don't touch.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's whatever he's, and then everything he's done with like the biting, it seems natural. And
Yeah.
the resource guarding can also be addressed with the methods and everything we use.
Yeah.
So looking into the future, maybe like in a year, like if you were to have everything you would want with Teddy, right? Teddy?
Yes, yeah. His real name's Ted, but like when we're like affectionately calling him, we'll call him Teddy. But yeah,
nickname's what?
Ted or Teddy. He'll respond to both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you could have everything you would want with Teddy, what would your life look like every day? Like a normal every other day, what would that look like with Teddy? If you were to have everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think our home life is already there. Like, we're so good at home. It would really be if we wanted to be out in public with him, like going to a patio, if there was like another dog, just making sure that it wouldn't be an altercation or an issue. And then if we do need to do daycare or boarding occasionally, either finding a situation where it works for him, where he's comfortable and he's not having those spats, or if it just really isn't his thing, we just find a better boarding solution with like someone who stays with him or something.
Yeah, like he's really good with us, but it just gets harder. I think it was fine during quarantine because we were home with him all the time and we weren't going anywhere. But now that we are starting to travel again and do things like that, we just want to make sure that he is comfortable in the situation, that when we leave him, he'll be okay.
Yeah, it's
And
just
like
kind of assimilating
he
back
just has
into our
like
life.
he just has nervous tics that like we're used to, but like we can't just drop him off at a friend's house or our parents'
To
house
watch,
to
yeah.
watch and take care of.
Yeah.
Because
Just
like
because.
even when we're walking, like if he starts pulling, I kind of correct him, or I'll do certain things, and I wouldn't know that a friend would know how to do. I mean,
No.
Exactly.
he's
Yeah.
so particular.
So we find that like we much rather just kind of get him in a situation where like he can be in a boarding situation
Yeah,
that he's
he's
comfortable
safe,
in,
he's
because it's just easier for
comfortable.
everyone, because we know we have
Yeah.
an interesting dog.
Yeah. he's just kind of
So we're not
particular.
really trying to drop him off at a bunch of places, but like it does come up when it's like a day like today. Like we'd love to like run errands with him, get him out of the house, and it's just
Take him
sometimes
to like a patio.
sometimes he's
and
just
stuff,
too
and
much
he's-
work, and we're just like, it's just easier if you stay home.
Yeah, and I think he likes being
He
home for
likes
the most
staying
part, but it would
home,
be
yeah.
nice if we could bring him.
Right.
The reason I asked is just how our programs are laid out, because we're not going to give you fancy commands,
Yeah.
that you won't be needing if, like,
Yeah.
if you're going to go off-leash hiking.
Yeah.
These other commands that would be in that situation.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not going to really be doing that, like, often.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like it would be an amazing goal to have him off leash, but I don't think it's really we don't really need that.
No, I would say like the one thing that I think we should work on is just like, he's always been by our side, but we know that this breed is a little flighty sometimes. And once again, it's like when that anxiety hits, like you don't really know what he's
He'll
going
just,
to
like,
do.
run.
And
Yeah.
potentially, he's never done it from us, and we've always had him on leash.
Or if like
and-
he ever has gotten out, we've been able to get him to come back to us.
Right,
But
but
it's
we
kinda
just
scary
don't
if he
know. Like
wouldn't,
we don't have that
yeah.
command right now of just like, no, you need to come here and you need to sit in front
If
of
he's
us.
scared,
Like right,
Don't just start running.
running away.
Like you need to be with
I think
us.
that's the only thing from our initial training that I don't think we fully were able to
Like he knows like a
ingrain
basic
in
come.
him.
If we're just kind of like
Yeah.
come, like he'll come. But
Yeah.
if something's going on and he's not focused on us,
Yeah.
I guess it's really like the focus.
Right.
Yeah.
Our current technique is like, if he ever does get off his leash, like if we start running in a direction, he'll actually
kinda come
kind of
with
follow
us.
with us.
Yeah.
And that seems to work pretty well. But then like sometimes he gets off leash and it's a game, and then he's running in circles.
Yeah.
And it,
It's a brat.
yeah.
It hasn't happened that often.
No, it was more when he was a puppy, I think. But
Yeah. And also, I guess to that point too, when we're walking, just like good walking manners. Because if he is anxious, he will do the pulling.
Yeah.
So having him just be able to walk on like a loose leash heel, he doesn't
Yeah.
do that right now. If we're walking, the leash is always taut, and he is in front, telling you kind of where he wants to go.
I see, yeah.
So that'd be better to have like a
Him by our side,
looser, just
yeah.
a better walk. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Do you guys know how, like, what tools we use and how our training methods and everything, correct?
A little bit, yeah. With either the slip knot or e-collar or prong, you kind of decide what works for the dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he's been on just a regular collar most of his life?
Yes, yeah, between either a collar. We used to do the martingale, but it was a little, I think it just was sized wrong, and he would be able to get it like under his lip, and he would just start chewing on it. And so he went through like 6, I feel like we bought like 6 of them. And so we eventually just went to this, and it seems like, because his neck's so small that if he is pulling, I kind of just like pull him a little bit more and then he'll stop. And then we did do a harness for a little bit to see if that helped, but that, I think it made it worse, so we stopped doing the harness. But yeah, otherwise he's been pretty much just on like a normal collar.
And then you've only done positive only with him? Like that's what they do, the food training stuff?
Yeah, which he's not super treat motivated, which is
sometimes
kind of
he is, other times he's like, nah.
Like when we did the puppy training,
Yeah.
we would get halfway through the training, and then he would just be like, I'm full, I don't really want to eat anymore.
Yeah. That is one other thing with him too that we do at home, is that we just actually leave out his food and his water, and people have said that that's not great, but he's really good about it, and he just kind of snacks when he wants to snack.
I mean, it's your house, your rules.
Yeah.
You bought the dog, it's your rules.
So that,
I know that that's kind of like taboo in the dog training.
But it doesn't, I know for the treat side of it, I think it doesn't help as much because you're not granting him permission to have food. So I feel like
he doesn't view it as much of a
he doesn't view
reward.
food as a scarcity at all.
Yeah.
And it works really well for us, and so far he's been pretty good. Picked up a little bit of weight in quarantine.
Yeah, he's up a few extra pounds.
But it just kind of helps us because we're not home at 3 o'clock every day or something
to do like
that.
a consistent feeding time. So if he just always has food, and he is so good about it, like he just eats till he's full, and he always leaves food in the bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's your house, your rules. If you were wanting to create food drive, that's when you would limit his food.
Yeah.
I mean, there's trainers out there who like make a whole list of like, don't let your dog in the bed, don't feed, don't free water. All these things are just like unrealistic. that for us, it does have, that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Our program. So that's why the positive only, and with these strict rules these trainers give you guys, it becomes.
You're just kind of set up to fail.
Unmotivated.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then when they start doing it, it takes like years or a long time to see progress with positive only.
Yeah.
So then it makes them more like, in a year, okay, well, I guess we'll keep doing it. So that's what happens. That's what, positive only is not always the best solution for dogs. Some dogs, some dogs are like, like Teddy, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then you get to this environment where like food will not work for Teddy.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're kind of curious. I think I found you guys literally by Googling like Shiba Inu training Chicago, and then one of your success stories popped up. And so I've been following like the Instagram account and like all your stuff for a while. And I've been really happy to see that you guys do have Shibas. Yeah. So you're used to their a really unique personality, and not everyone kind of knows how to deal with them. And that's same with like with the training. I don't know that that's like the positive training is like the best way to train them. I don't know, because they're kind of particular.
Yeah.
So I was happy to see that you guys have experience with Shibas.
Like you said, we use paw collar and e-collar. For puppies 6 months and older, always e-collar.
Yeah.
We've done younger, like 4 months, but it's more nuanced. It depends on the breed and like what their goals are and everything like that. So we've done it younger. We use e-collar. What do you guys know about e-collar?
Not a lot. I think at first I was a little averted to it, just kind of with what you like would think of it.
Electronic.
Exactly. But I've been seeing a lot of stuff that you guys have been posting about how it's like literally just like grabbing their attention. It's not like a shock.
Exactly.
So I think I'm a little bit more comfortable with it now, and especially if he would respond to it better, I think it would be good, because there are times where it's like really hard to get his attention. So if there was something like kind of like a nudge being like, hey, pay attention, that would be good. I've kind of been, even like with my mouth, like we'll make like a clicking noise sometimes to like get his attention. So I don't know if like the clicker training would kind of help, but.
So e-collar is electric, but not electricity, so it's not running through the dog's body. It's like a box with 2 contact points, and it's only affecting this, whatever it's touching, right?
Okay.
Physical therapists use the same technology. It's called TENS unit, or like where they put the patches on, like it massages the muscle. Have you guys ever been to a physical therapist?
No.
No.
Well, they have like
Yeah.
this machine that like works torn muscle.
Okay.
Like it's like those commercials, like grow 6-pack overnight, put this patch on your stomach, and they sell at Walgreens too.
Yeah.
It's a muscle contractor.
Okay.
The same technology physical therapists use is the same on e-collar.
Yeah.
So once like people would see that, and like, oh, that's what it is, they become more relaxed.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh,
Exactly.
Our e-collars have 127 levels, right? The cheaper e-collars have like 10, 5. Think of the number 10 equal to 127, the power outage. We just have 117 more breaks to make it more specific to the breed,
Yeah.
personality,
Kind of like what they're
dog,
reacting to. Yeah.
So on those cheaper e-collars, like a 5 will make the dog yelp, but a 4 they wouldn't listen. But for us, if 50 was too high, 40 was too low, we can go to 45. It's just simple as that.
Yeah.
And the reason why we get so much success is because it's physical. Like you said, it's something that's touching him
Yeah. Kind of like,
and
hey.
letting him know, right? Because dogs are physical animals. They let each other know through their mouths,
Yeah.
barking, or like just mostly through the mouths, right?
Yeah.
He's done that before. So that's why we get so much success, because it's their language, it's physicality for them.
Yeah, like at his mom's house, they do the electric fence in the burbs. So they have an electric fence around their property. They probably can't even have a fence with their community.
No.
And we've wanted to let Ted out, but we usually just keep him on a really long lead because we've been nervous about training him to the shock collar. I don't know if Sheba's like, I just feel like he would get the shock and just keep running,
Sometimes dogs
So I just don't know if he would be successful. So it'd be good to kind of train him to the e-collar, because then it's something where we could kind of be like, no, come back here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first response dogs give is when they feel the e-collar is run away.
Yeah.
Right? So we need to teach Teddy that he is the one who turns it on and off, and that when he feels it, it's to come to you guys, not run away. But yeah, I've seen a lot of stories where dogs will like take the hit because it's worth it, whatever's on the other side they're looking for. They'll take it and they'll just keep going, but then they can't get back in,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with some e-collar fences. I know Dogstra has one. That's the brand we use, is Dogstra.
Okay.
But yes, it's just like the consequence for crossing out the line,
Yeah. So it'd be good to train him to that.
What else? Any other questions about e-collar, how it works, or?
I don't think so.
You're comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, we would teach him how it turns off, how it turns on. The Walkie Command is like the first command we cover.
Yeah.
So that's 2 classes. This command is, even though it's obedience, walk by my side. So how strict it is, it's if we take 5 steps, he takes 5 steps. We take 10, he takes 10. If we come to a stop, no words said, he's to automatically sit. And this is all done with a slack leash on our leg. His right shoulder is glued to the left leg. So like, if we move here, he's supposed to stop, or if we move back, they should like follow it, right? The reason why this would fix the overstimulation is because right now he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, he's not
So once
focused.
we start giving him something to do, then you'll start to see the overstimulation dip,
Yeah.
and he'll become more relaxed, and the looking around, like scouting, it will like dip a lot.
Yeah.
So it's nothing that we need to attack head on. It just goes away like that first class.
Yeah.
2 classes for the recall, and then because we have in person. Are you guys thinking about doing in person or board and train or daycare train?
Yeah, probably. We're going out of town in like 2 weeks, and so we're hoping to board him with you guys.
Okay.
So I don't know. I was talking with I think Kim over email, and we weren't sure if he should do like the trial days at all, or if he goes like straight into like daycare and train, just to kind of get like used to the facility. I think it'd be good for him to do like a couple days there before we go out of town, and then the weekend we're on the 10th through the 13th. We could do kind of like a board and train over that period of time. It's kind of like if he's going to be boarded, we might as well be working on his training.
It'll probably be a hybrid of the 2.
Yeah.
Of in person and board and train.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we can be as engaged as you want. I mean, if we need to be there or something like that, we're not trying to just like drop him off and have you cure him. It's we'll obviously actively be involved. It's like, it's just with our timing.
Yeah, I think probably the board and train, like the overstimulation stuff would probably be good to work on, just because there is a lot of stimulation. Like for us to kind of
it's hard to create
always
that
create that
environment.
is a little challenging minus the park, I guess, to walk through. But yeah. I think we're flexible.
But yeah, we can do in-person training as well, yeah.
Yeah, so the board and train would work. You would be a part of it because you get follow-ups. So
Yeah.
depending how long you want him to board with us, I think minimum 2 weeks. The reason is because if you do the 1 week, sometimes because e-collar is a stressor, right?
Yeah.
So his stress response might be more anxiety, or might get flighty, or he might, he'll have a stress response. We need a little bit more time to get over that hump, because if we're training and we never get over that hump, then he's stuck there.
Yeah.
Right? Versus we train, he's like, oh, okay, I know what it is now. Then we get over that hump, and then the second week is more like on your way to off-leash things, right? Because the 1 week is basic stuff. The 2 week is more towards advanced stuff, or what you're looking for, the patio stuff, and
Yeah.
having kind of free walk, or the long leash stuff you can use that as well. And then the 3 week and 4 week is just more towards think of the 4 week as everything, right?
Yeah. I guess with the board and train though, we're only really gonna be gone 3 days, 4 days. So I don't think we really need to leave him there for a full week.
Right.
I think it would be more a mixture of the boarding, daycare, and in person if we could do that.
We'll probably start
You
in
know what I
person,
mean?
and then when we go on our honeymoon, maybe we do the board and trade.
That's not gonna be for another year.
We'll figure it out. We'll do it.
No, but I'm
eventually.
just saying right now,
Yeah.
if they, we can kind of do a mixture.
Yeah.
But I don't think we would necessarily be doing a board and trade for weeks
Yeah.
at a time.
Yeah,
Because
so
we'll
our
be here. He might
so
as well sleep at home.
Yeah, so our programs go by so board train is 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week.
Yeah.
If you were to do an in-person, that's these 6, so you would be more 6 week, 9 week. So think of the 6 week as I walk my dog around the block, go to the dog park, I need recall.
Yeah.
And then you get a stationary command, a place command to go to your bed and don't move.
Yeah.
9 week is you get all that stuff, but you get more sit down and then place, more stationary control for the patio stuff.
Yeah.
And this is all an hour a week. So
Okay.
for example, it'd be Sunday 9:45, 6 classes. So this time 6 times.
Yeah.
What you can do, and you kind of said a little bit, you can start in person and then just board him, and then we can do training if you want.
While he's there.
Yeah,
exactly.
To reinforce everything.
That's
what
what we're kind of looking for, yeah.
Because all the dogs that are trained with e-collar are doing what they know, duration work, or they're practicing something.
Yeah.
It's on if we need it. If he's got let's say he starts whining in the kennel, we can use that to calm him down.
Yeah.
Or in the playpen, if he's a little snappy, we can correct him with that without confronting him with a prong collar, with a yank or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? He'll never know that we're pressing or you guys are pressing the remote. He's thinking it's the universe.
Yeah.
It won't affect your guys' relationship, or he won't look at you guys as the bad guy or anything like that. You know?
Yeah.
And the daycare and train is, regular daycare. You drop him off, pick him up, and we're just
Yeah.
training him there.
So I think kind of a combo of that would be ideal if we could do that.
Yeah.
What else? So for daycare and train, you'd be more the 10-day, and then if you were to do a full board and train, it'd be the 2 week, 1 week, and then the in-person would be 6 week or the 9 week. Pros and cons. In-person is you're doing all the work. We don't touch the dog. We're verbally coaching you guys to do everything. So you're doing the troubleshooting.
Yeah.
You're handling the situations here, with all these dogs. We'd coach how to handle through that situation, everything like that. Con, it takes a longer time.
Yeah.
We give you a topic a week, and it's only 1 class a week.
Yeah.
Pros and cons with the board and train and daycare train. We film everything.
Yeah.
So all the first sessions are filmed for you guys to see how Teddy took the e-collar and how we worked him through whatever his stress response was.
Yeah.
Once those videos are posted, you can start practicing. If you're daycare and train, board and train, you can't. But you get a lot of follow-up time, a lot of sessions so that we can transfer everything over to you if you were to board and train, right? If it's daycare and train, once you see those videos, you start practicing, and then your follow-up would be more all right, let's see what you've been practicing and see how things been going.
Yeah.
So whatever program you choose, you both will be very involved with his training and everything.
Yeah.
Jesse's told me there's been trainers out there who he knows this. Here, they'll show you real quick, hey, good luck. And then they say
Right.
bye, you know?
Yeah. No, we don't want that. Yeah.
So there's a lot of follow-up time and everything. What else? I think another option would be, if you want us to do training with him, would be like purchasing a training walk. So where we take him for a walk, either to Home Depot, PetSmart, using the e-collar, having that structure. All our handlers and employees are knowledgeable about the e-collar. They know how to do, like, so if I wasn't there, or like Jesse wasn't there,
Yeah.
someone knows how to do it, because they've trained dogs before too on e-collar, so they know how to like take him for like a 30-minute walk or an hour walk, and just practicing that exposure.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's another option for you as well. What else? Any questions so far?
Oh,
I don't think so. Yeah, it would just be kind of figuring out, like, maybe we did like 2 daycare days this week, and then we do like a training session next weekend, and then maybe like 1 more daycare day, and then he'll be boarded, you know, kind of like, and then boarded for the weekend. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking like maybe we schedule it kind of like that.
Yeah.
So he's kind of getting a mix of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want him to just board and not train, you can do the 3-day evaluation, which is $60 for 3 days.
Yeah.
Where we're acclimating him to the environment. So you can start that whenever you like. Just let us know.
Okay.
On the website, if you go to like the Logan Square facility and then click daycare and boarding, there's like a link to register him online and everything, get his shot records in and everything like that, and you can do the evaluation. And then since you're going to be doing e-collar, we can already have it on him if he's stressed, and we can use it to settle him.
Okay.
You know, we can just do that. Do you know if he's crate trained then, right? I assume.
Yes, yeah. When he was a puppy, he was in the crate. When we leave now, we just gate him in like a mud room, so he has a little bit more space. We're moving in like a couple of months, and we're thinking about
just
letting him have the
house.
whole floor versus crating him. Just because I think he's ready for the freedom.
But she was by
But
nature
he-
kind of crawl into small
The
spaces
small-
and just kind of.
Totally, yeah. Like even while he's home, we'll just leave the crate door open and he'll just go in there to sleep anyway. Or like his dog bed is like kind of under a table that he'll kind of go cuddle up in.
Yeah,
So
he's kind of made his own crate.
He likes the small crate. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, because this is, after this consultation, I'll send you guys a follow-up email about the programs we talked about, the prices, and the e-collar. I think that would be appropriate for his size and temperament and everything like that, and what we're dealing with behavior-wise. And then I'll send you guys 2 links. One link to the Ginger, where it's to sign him up for daycare and boarding, and then another link to well, if you do the Ginger, you don't have to sign the other link. So I'll just send the Ginger link.
Yeah,
You plan
I
on
think
doing-
we're in the system.
you are?
Yeah, I think I just need to email like Kim or Maria just to get the first appointment in, and then they said I would be in the system or something.
For the
Hey,
evaluation.
hey,
or-
hey.
What are you doing?
Was it for the evaluation?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are
And
you
then
doing?
you know how the evaluation goes and everything, the evaluation process.
Yeah, it was like a day
yeah.
just there, like not interacting. And then you guys kind of like slowly try to assimilate him. So yeah, I think that's fine as long as you know that like by whatever the day is when you start trying to like introduce a dog that he might not be as friendly. It's kind of like, that's my only warning. But you'll definitely see how he works. I guess my other question is obviously you're not going to be there 24/7, so it's kind of like, I'm assuming all the other handlers and stuff like that are all on the same kind of like training program, but it's like he might end up having a different person training him sometimes, or like working with him at daycare. Like how does that kind of, what is that like?
The daycare and train, I do all the videos. I'm the one that teaches them first, right?
Okay.
They're not,
Hey, where you going?
because they don't know how to handle certain things, like
Yeah.
when they first react or anything like that. But once he's been taught it,
Once he's reacting.
yeah, then I can, it's easy, e-collar is very transferable. So for like, usually couples, partner number 1 will do all the hard work if we're doing in person.
Yeah.
Then I hand them off to partner number 2 and it's like easy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. Like once I do the videos for you guys and you get to see how we took in how I handled everything, then all the employees can reinforce it throughout the day, so that he's getting trained multiple training sessions a day. So he's just not getting like one training session,
Yeah.
And they've done all the socializing as well, so they're familiar with like cues and like stress signals and
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that. What else? Any other questions about e-collar or the programs?
I think that would be good.
I don't think
it's
so.
all fine.
Yeah, I think our first
It's more
priority is
like-
just getting the boarding figured out and making sure that your facility like works for him right now after being in quarantine for a while. And then we're just
Yeah,
really
getting
busy
used to
these
it.
next 2 months. So then maybe after the boarding, then we start the training.
I mean, we could just start now.
Yeah, we're just gone some weekends and stuff.
Yeah, as long as it's okay that there's like gaps in time. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I'm not sure what the schedule's looking like right now.
Okay.
So I would have to check.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, and then
do we do the scheduling through you, or that's
Yeah, it'll
for the
be through me.
training? Okay.
Great.
Some common questions owners have about the e-collar is like, is my dog going to have to wear the collar all day, every day? It's like a yes and no question answer. Usually, if you're going to take Teddy for a walk, the e-collar will be on.
Yeah.
Because just because we can't, even after he's trained and he's good, it'd still be on for emergency reasons. So like,
Yeah.
let's say we're walking right here, like on this busy street, car crash. He freaks out. He's going to flight mode. Like he said,
Yeah.
he's very flighty. So let's say he goes in flight mode and like for some reason slits out the collar, like the leash breaks, right?
Yeah.
And then he's gone, right? When dogs are in flight mode, they're literally thinking kill or be killed. So you need
Yeah.
to override that mindset to bring it back to you. And treats and words or like yelling will not work in that situation. That's where the e-collar comes in handy. So on walks, it'd be there. Just we can't predict what's going to happen
Yeah.
on these walks. Or like if off leash dog comes over, or like let's say like some owner throws a ball, he's off leash. And you know he's a resource guard, he's going to go for that ball, but then another dog is going. You have the wireless connection for him to tell him don't do that or don't go to that ball. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And in the home, since he's an angel, you don't need the e-collar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
wouldn't use it at home.
He usually doesn't have his collar on when we're home.
Now
Yeah.
let's say you're going to have a guest come over.
That might be a good time to.
20 minutes prior, call
Yeah.
him up, address whatever needs to be addressed, and let's say you find that he's fine after you've addressed certain things, then you can take it off and then he's settled, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like stuff like that where it's just, just in case. That's how we always look at the e-collar. Another common question is, how come when I take the e-collar off, he starts like jumping, or like say we're trying to correct jumping, how come when I take it off, he starts jumping, he starts pulling, he does all these other things, right? It's because it's called opportunistic behavior. So, for example, like people who drive on the highway, no one goes to speed limit. Once you see a squad car, everyone just slows down because
Yeah.
there's authority, right? So Jesse likes to call the e-collar a cop on a collar.
Yeah.
So if it's gone, he's gonna, and once he realizes, like, once he becomes aware of like the collar and like when it's on, when it's off, what he can do, what he can't do,
Yeah.
then he's gonna like show you. You'll see it.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the training, has nothing to do with the e-collar, has nothing to do with you guys practicing at home. It's just a nature thing. If we can get away with something, we're gonna get away with it.
Yeah.
Humans do it, dogs do it, any nature will do it. Any questions?
Has it
makes
ever has any dog reacted like really negatively to it and like
It's like not successful.
not successful or like has caused like more anxiety?
Yeah, I guess we would definitely want to avoid more anxiety.
So that's why, like, I was just speaking about like the hump, right? So
Yeah.
these are already anxious, right? And if we apply a stressor, like for example, a dog that has a muzzle is a stressor because it's like
Yeah,
it's annoying.
it's
And then you put the
constricting.
e-collar on, and then let's say the dog's dog aggressive, and we're introducing to the dog stressor, stressor, stressor. You're going to see a lot of stress, right?
Yeah.
The same thing for him. That e-collar is going to be a stressor, so there might be more anxiety coming out of him, but we need to override that and get over that hump to let
Yeah.
him know that dogs can't stay in a mindset for such a long time.
Yeah.
They have to give up. So that's where the hump comes into play, and where we need to like overcome that anxious stressor like response to the e-collar, right?
Yeah.
So like owners will think, if the dog wasn't showing anxiety or like some sort of stress, or they've never been under stress, they start training and they start to see the dog shaking or like heavy panting, and like, hey, the e-collar made my dog stressed. No, your dog was already anxious. We're just seeing it as a response to the stressor because he's never been under stress. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it's like one reason why we haven't done like the electric fence at my parents' house is because like we don't want him to have a negative
We
connotation
didn't want to make the
with
situation worse. Yeah.
with their house because he would only really get the
At their
stimulant there.
house. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and he will still be, you know, the playful dog when he wants to be a playful dog. It doesn't, you know, take away the personality or anything like that. Sometimes owners are worried about that as well. Like, you know, if the dog loves people, will my dog hate people when we start econ training? No, we've never seen it. We've never. The only time we've been like, I guess, like unsuccessful is when the owners aren't doing the homework or practicing right.
Yeah.
There's been dogs where, like, because econ is supposed to be a flow, it's supposed to flow nicely, but it's not flowing nicely. There's either a behavioral issue, the trainer's doing something wrong, or there's something wrong in that training session, right? So we've had dogs with behavioral issues like react or protest. Protest meaning they bite the leash, or like they're telling you like, no, I don't want to do it, and they like it becomes like argument. Like we've had dogs like that, but I'm not sure how Hilo reacts. I don't know what his number would be on the e-collar.
Yeah.
I can't tell you looking at him what. Like, you know, like some dogs, his size are more like they can be high, they can be low. It's just depending on like what he lets us know. Similar to like the physical therapist, where they go up, up, up.
Yeah.
When it's uncomfortable. Okay, they lower 2 levels down. Then they let the machine do the work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think so.
Okay, that's good.
And then I'll send you guys a link to the e-collar. We also sell them. So if you want to buy from us, you can buy from us as well.
Okay.
What else?
Yeah, that might be easier if we want to start doing like the trial days or something next week, just to get it as sooner.
If you buy it from us, we can just send it home with you guys, just so you can fiddle around with it, see how it works with the manual, get familiar with the buttons and then the functions, and you can also like feel it for yourself. Just, you know, what is Teddy feeling? I want to feel it too.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a muscle contractor. Like if you go high enough on your hand, if you're holding it, like your thumb will like start twitching. Like that.
Weird.
Yeah. What else? So the leash walking can be handled. The overstimulation, the snapping. So we've done it before the daycare. We've had a dog board where they had issues of snapping at dogs, but she was never corrected. She was it was like those big white ones.
Samoyed.
Oh, a Samoyed, yeah.
And like she was snapping at first, and then once like we started correcting, she's like, okay, I can't do that.
Yeah.
She started avoiding the dogs because that's a better response to addressing it yourself. Right?
Yeah.
Just to get out the situation, feel uncomfortable. After that led to curiosity, and then she started playing. Then like she just started playing out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
So that can also happen too, where he becomes more playful because we're cutting the brain from being like,
so defensive.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I feel like that's how he is whenever he's gotten in a fight with like Jay.
Yeah.
Like we'll correct him, and then all of a sudden he like avoids it, and then like an hour later they're like playing again.
Yeah. Or he likes to pick fights.
Yeah. Yeah, just like the dog socialization would be great.
Cool.
Getting him back used to that, because he used to love to play. Yeah, you used to like playing with other dogs.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Just,
So on this follow-up email, let me know what you guys are looking for, what you're kind of schedule.
I'm kind of thinking like starting the trial days this week, just kind of getting used to the facility, and then maybe we can do like a singular daycare train day or something like that, and then the weekend, if we could kind of do maybe like a training session during the weekend we're gone for like during the boarding, if that's possible. If it's like possible to like break it up from like the whole program to be able to do like a mix of it.
Okay, because I think
kind of like paying per session.
I think it'll be a little difficult because with the group purchases, like the 6-week or whatever. Whatever, they come with stuff. So if you buy a single one, it doesn't come with I'll have to ask Jess how that would work, but send me what you guys would.
We'll kind of break out what we're thinking.
So that I can see it.
And see what it makes sense. Yeah.
And then me and Jess will talk about it.
I think it'll mostly be, we can do like the in-person training sessions with us, but then the couple times we're going to be out of town twice. We have the wedding coming up in 2 weeks, and then we have another one end of July.
Yeah.
So just kind of being able to be boarded with you guys and have him continue to work on his training and behavior would be good. But we don't necessarily need like the 3-week boot camp type thing,
Yeah,
you know?
so I see. So
It's more just like, it's probably how you guys just like run your facility, is just like the corrections and the ongoing maintenance of them is kind of what we're looking
that's
for.
what I'm thinking too. That's why
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you guys spending so much money on
like
just
the full
doing the stuff
training.
you're already doing.
Exactly.
Just doing the boarding and then
Yeah.
picking like a program, whether it's daycare training or in person.
Yeah.
Just so it's more simpler for you guys and you're not spending all this money for, like I said, we're already correcting stuff and
Yeah.
Applying the training because we're getting paid. We're already getting paid for it, you know?
Exactly.
Some dogs were like, you know, they'll come and like they don't pay for training or anything, and they're like, because recently we had a dog who was like very protesty, very like, you're not gonna do that to me, and we're like, well, we have no training tools.
You can't.
Like,
yeah.
And then we told the owner, like, you know, if you want to keep having your dog here, you need to get.
You gotta do the training.
So
Yeah.
that we can control it.
Exactly.
I actually think
feel like that's kind
once the e-collar's introduced, I think he
I
actually
think
is going to
he'll
learn
learn
it really quick. He's not
Yeah.
a dumb dog.
No,
And,
as soon as he's corrected, it's like, I think he'll pick it up quickly.
and so I think that will kind of help us better gauge like what's needed in the personal training
Yeah.
sessions.
Yeah.
If he takes well to the e-collar, but like you said, if it's not, then I think we
It
need
might
to
take the
jump
fold.
in. We need to jump into the personal training
Yeah.
faster to make
So
sure
much.
that this little guy isn't too overwhelmed.
Anything else?
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I think that all sounds good.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just looking forward to your guys' approach of just being more engaged with them while they're at the facility and not just like neglecting them in a room full of dogs.